A lot of us start using Notion as just a digital notebook, right? A place to jot down random thoughts and lists. But its real power, well, that goes way beyond that. Today, we're going to explore that shift, the shift from using Notion as a simple note-taking tool to actually architecting a complete, personalized operating system for your work and even your life. So let's dive in and see how that happens. This quote, it just perfectly captures the scale of the transformation we're talking about here. We're really moving beyond these static, dead documents into a dynamic environment that can actively manage complex workflows for you. It's a fundamental change in how we think about our digital tools. And this really gets to the heart of it. We need to shift our mindset from being passive consumers of our digital space to becoming active architects. See, this isn't about just finding the perfect template someone else made. It's about learning the core principles to design a system that genuinely thinks and works the way you do. To build anything effectively, you have to start with the right mindset. And in this case, it means totally changing our mental model of what a digital workspace can be, moving past the idea of just being a filer of documents and stepping into the shoes of a real systems designer. Just think about the difference for a second. On one side, you have that classic digital filing cabinet, rigid folders, isolated documents, everything locked in its place. But on the other side, you have a living ecosystem where information is all interconnected, it's dynamic, and you can access it from all these different perspectives. This one shift from a static to a relational model is the absolute core of building a powerful Notion OS. Every great structure, no matter how complex, is built from simple, basic components. In Notion, this all comes down to one fundamental building block. It's the foundation for the entire system we're about to create. And that building block is, well, the block. You can think of it as the digital Lego of Notion. Every single piece of content, a line of text, an image, a toggle, even an entire page, is a block. This modular architecture is what gives you this incredible flexibility to move, transform, and combine information in ways that old-school documents just can't touch. And here's that concept in action. A command center like this isn't just a fancy dashboard with some links. No, it's a physical representation of your system's architecture, built block by block. It establishes a really clear hierarchy that becomes the scalable backbone for everything else we're going to build right on top of it. So, with our foundation firmly in place, it's time to build the engine that's going to power our entire operating system. We're moving from just structure to actual substance, creating the central hub where all of our critical data will live. Now, this is a key insight. The beautiful dashboards and pages we see, the stuff on the surface, they're really just the user interface. The real work, the heavy lifting, is done by a central engine, a master database that holds all the structured information in the background. The interface is for viewing, the database is for working. So how do we structure all that data? We do it with properties. These are basically metadata tags, things like a status, a due date, or who the owner is, that we attach to our information. Using these correctly makes sure our data is clean, it's consistent, and most importantly, it's computable. That's what allows us to sort, filter, and automate things later on. And this is what makes Notion databases so uniquely powerful. See, unlike a spreadsheet row, which is just a flat collection of cells, each and every entry in a Notion database is a full, nestable page. It can hold its own notes, its own subtasks, even its own databases inside of it. It's this incredible, almost fractal-like structure of information. All right, so now that we have our central engine humming along, let's see how we can create customized dashboards that show us exactly what we need to see right when we need to see it, all without ever duplicating a single piece of information. The principle here is simple but incredibly powerful. One single source of truth viewed through multiple different lenses. All your data lives in one master database, but from that, you can create a nearly infinite number of custom views tailored to specific people, projects, or contexts. And the tool that makes all this possible is the linked view. Now, this is crucial. A linked view is not a copy of your data. It's a live window looking into it. Any change you make through that view is instantly updated in the master source, but the filters and the sorting you apply are totally unique to that one window. And here's a perfect practical example of this. A manager might need a high-level Kanban board to track the different stages of a project, but a developer on that very same team might just need a simple filtered task list showing only their active assignments. They are both looking at the exact same underlying data, but their view is completely tailored to their specific role and responsibility. So far, we've built a really powerful database. But true system thinking, well, that's all about the connections. The final architectural step is linking all of our data together to create a true living knowledge network. The goal here is to eliminate what we call data islands. A project database on its own is useful, and a client database is useful, but a system where you can instantly see which projects belong to which client all in one place, that's where you unlock some serious exponential value. We do this in two simple steps. First, we use a relation to build a logical bridge that connects, let's say, a project to a client. Then, we use a rollup to pull specific data across that bridge. This lets us do things like automatically calculate the total budget of all projects for one client, all without any manual data entry. It's pretty amazing. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground, from those atomic blocks all the way to relational data networks. So let's just wrap up by summarizing the core mental shifts that really take you from just being a user to being a true systems architect. Our entire journey today has been about shifting perspective. You've learned to see beyond simple pages to the fundamental building blocks inside them. You've moved from messy, unstructured lists to clean, structured databases. You've unlocked the power of creating dynamic views instead of relying on static info. And finally, you've learned how to connect all that isolated data into one coherent, intelligent network. Ultimately, this isn't about mastering a tool. It's really about adopting a new way of thinking. By understanding these principles, you're no longer just organizing information. You are now designing a system that works for you, a system that gives you clarity, focus, and complete control over your entire digital environment.